The Roll7 team has long been known to fans of quality arcade entertainment. Its Oli trilogy has won many awards, the highest rating and the attention of the audience. It's time for something completely new for the developers. They transferred the mechanics of stand play to a three-dimensional game, making a hybrid of arcade and shooter. Do you like to score points for extreme stunts, like in Tony Hawk's Pro Skater and Oli? Like to shoot slow motion, like in Max Payne and My Friend Pedro? Rollerdrome, it's all about doing both, and the studio's results are brilliant. We are transported to the year 2013, when a new blood sport is gaining popularity, that very Rollerdrome. The International Rollerdrome Federation wants to make the next championship the most successful in history, so it invites all the stars. Among their ranks is Kara Hassan, the main character who is trying her hand for the first time and is just learning. We learned the basics with her, and Rollerdrome does a great job of explaining the basic mechanics. First of all, the heroine wears roller skates, so she rides the map and by herself just once tilts the stick forward. Secondly, she is armed with two guns to eliminate the enemies in the arenas. When you are killed them all, the level is considered passed, and the opponents appear in waves. There is only one inconvenience. There is no place to pick up ammunition, and pistols have only 20 of them. It turns out that the magazines are filled only when you perform tricks. Therefore, all arenas are stacked with ramps and QWERTY pipes, so you can ply them at any time, spin in the air and accumulate another 10 bullets, without which you cannot complete the test. Here you can immediately recognize the handwriting of the creators of Oli. If you press the jump button and release it before trying off the ramp, you will make a high jump. There is a separate button for the grab, and in combination with different stick tools you grab the sticks in different ways. Skids. The same stick is also responsible for back. You twist around your axis to the left or right, which also gives you point. You also need one more button to perform somersault in the air. And then you'll learn about greens, cleaning on pipes and so on. You go to the pause menu and there's a whole encyclopedia with dozens of combinations, similar to fans of the skateboarding games. The more active you spin tricks, the more points you earn. And with this you fill up your magazines. All these gameplay elements combine amazingly. There is no feeling that are forced somewhere to go and jump from something. When you just want to shoot, Trigger is a good addition to the firefights. You can, for example, quickly get to the weaker but annoying target. There are enough types of enemies that there is almost no time to relax. On the first level, everything is primitive. Some guys run around with bats and become easy targets, while others shoot with sniper rifles. Red beams alert you to go shoot, and you can escape by simply rolling over. But then the bestiary is replenished by more and more dangerous opponents. Rocket-firing armored fat guys, teleporting snipers, flying robots, walking robots all need their own approach. Fat guys, for example, at your first hit create a field around themselves that is impossible to penetrate, so it's best to shoot them non-stop if you take a gun against him. Fortunately, the authors did not limit the player's arsenal to one type of weapon. Very soon you open the shotgun with a unique feature. If you aim in at someone and wait a couple of seconds, you will cause bonus damage. Then there will be a grenade launcher and railgun, appropriate in certain situations. Switch between all this can be done on the fly by using the crossbar, and it is necessary to do so. Walking robots, for example, do not react to the guns. The main thing is to remember that all the guns have a common supply of shells. If you fire a grenade launcher 3 times, all weapons will have empty magazines. But the main mechanics is of course reflex time dilation. You can activate it at any moment. When driving on the ground, when sliding on walls, when standing still and in the middle of a difficult stunt. As in many other action games and shooters, this feature is not boring. A paradox, but it makes the firefights more dynamic. Draw to the ramp, jump up, spin a couple of times, slow down, and you shoot the nearest sniper with a shotgun. And he cannot do anything. Fun. Over time, this mechanic grows in detail. The aforementioned dodging allows you to escape from any projectile, whatever it be rocket exploding on a approach mine or a sniper bullet. If you dodge at least last moment, the text on the screen will tell you the perfect dodge. Activate the reflex. As soon as possible, you can deal increased damage to targets. Pistols and shotguns do not require precise aiming. It is enough that the enemy was visible on the screen, but the grenade launcher and the rail do not allow such indolence. As you progress, the challenges become more and more difficult, as you encounter more and more live targets. Not only that, but they also try their best to eliminate you. You can only heal yourself by killing your opponents, who leave behind green dice that replenish your health. So you try to be as careful as possible, get your priorities right, dodge at the right moments, and not too keen on tricks. Each of the 11 levels offer a dozen challenges. Most of them must be complicated to gain access to the next stages. All of them are different. Then they ask you to collect 5 collectibles, then pass the level with only one type of weapon, then show a particular trick or roll on the wall in a specific place. After completing a level, progress is not erased, so it's not necessary to complete everything in one attempt. I was happy to complete all the tasks, although this is not required. The gameplay is so addictive that you want to squeeze the maximum out of the game. Admittedly, when they write the name of some type of enemy in the mission, it's not always clear who these are. You have to check for yourself. Here it is worth mentioning that Rollerdrome is first and foremost about the gameplay. In between stages, there are first-person episodes where you collect tiny details about the universe. People oppose the power of corporation and stage protest. The championship organizer seems to be shady characters. In this sense, the game can be compared with Siphon. It seems there is a certain lore, but it more for show, and the need for a full story does not feel. On the other hand, the music is great and the game is visually very enjoyable, thanks to the Jane Gerd comic book style. Well, if you find the game difficult, the final stage will force to spend more than one attempt to pass. In the menu there is an accessibility settings. They change the basic elements. You can make the loaded shots from the shotgun standard, turn on infinite ammo, reduce the damage you receive, or turn it off altogether. Doing this without an organ need, of course, I do not recommend. When you do not need to dodge shells and perform tricks, the game will lose all meaning.